Ah, it's official, I see. Well, there was a lot of speculation about it, but in mid-Ohio, it was announced that Scott Dixon would leave the number 9 team at Chip Ganassi Racing. We don't know who's going to replace him yet, but we now know his whereabouts for next year.
Green will be the next question.
The McLaren IndyCar team has announced that they are getting rid of Nolan Siegel and Christian Lundgaard, surprisingly, the highest rated driver in the championship standings, and third, 11 points behind second and only 65 points off Alex Palou. Bearing in mind you get 50 points for winning IndyCar and 52 for a fantastic weekend of pole, leading every lap and winning the race. And they've decided to put in their place Felix Rosenqvist, who did race for the team back in 2021 to 2023 and left on quite sour terms because of McLaren constantly trying to get rid of him for Alex Palou. And Scott Dixon, like I say, it was announced that he was going to leave Chip Ganassi Racing and he's going to join Aaron McLaren. Now, for this move for Scott Dixon, I see this not as just an IndyCar move. It's sort of also a way to get into their hypercar lineup for the World Endurance Championship, because obviously that is a big part for Scott Dixon, and he is so desperate for an outright shot at it as well. Ever since Chip Ganassi Racing had their sort of go at it with Cadillac, he has raced it with the Ford GT as well, but that was only in class in the GTLM. That wasn't like in the top prototype category. And there will also be some things when he retires from his driving career as well. I'm pretty sure that's what it seems like anyway. But Tony Kanaan did say when they hired Nolan Siegel back in June 2024 that you can bet my job on him to being successful. So does that mean you're going too, Tony? It seems like Zach Brown has given him one last shot in 2027, and if not, he's going to get axed. So I don't really get the Felix Rosenqvist bit either, because he's had a great career at Marshank. He's had a great turnaround, and it was a team that genuinely loved him as well. So I don't know, maybe if it was a problem with money or something like that as well for him, but there was sort of like a rumour because of him being a dad now. He wants everything to be close and everything, which does make sense because just before he won the Indy 500, he became a dad for the very first time. So with that bit, and their base being in Indy, it should be a bit closer and it should be a bit easier to see his kid now and all that kind of stuff, which makes sense. You're making a decision for your family, I get that completely, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I'd do the same in his position. But yeah, the one with Scott Dixon, it's not just for IndyCar, not at all. So I see that. It just sucks that they have to put Christian Lundgaard out, and I don't get it at all because he's your best performing driver this year. He's got 2 wins. He's been consistently matching, well, even Alex Palou when he can. Yes, his overall form is to be desired, and he needs a bit more of improvement in that, but you can work on that, you know what I mean? So I have a feeling they're going to regret it, especially if Chip Ganassi Racing picks Christian Lundgaard up, which I really want to see now, by the way. I would love that, to see him put in the number 9, just to stick it to McLaren, because they've gone through so many drivers in the last few years. Alex Rossi, David Malukas, who didn't even get a drive, really. And that's just to name 2 of them. That there's so many, it's crazy. I think in the last 5 years they've had 9 drivers now. So now it's going to be 1 more added with Scott Dixon. But yeah, also it was quietly announced that Ryan Hunter-Reay would also run the 500 next year as well. That was under the radar sort of thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be fascinating, and there's going to be a lot of chatter about it when we get to Nashville next week as well. But I tried to think about this a lot ever since the news came out yesterday from the day of recording. It's just a bit weird. I understand Siegel, I really do, yeah? But getting rid of Lundgaard, the best driver in the series, and if you look at what he's good at, road and street courses, every road course finish he's had, he's finished in the top 2. He's had 2 wins at the Indy Grand Prix and Road America, and second at Barber, and last weekend at Mid-Ohio. So it's just a bit odd, but McLaren always have been in the IndyCar, so yeah, I struggle to find the words to sort of explain it, but it's just a bit odd. But can anyone sort of help me explain it to me, and can anyone else make sense of it either. That'd be really fascinating to know. And please let me know your thoughts on the McLaren IndyCar saga. That'd be quite fascinating. And yes, what do you think of Scott Dixon going to McLaren? And what do you think of Felix Rosenqvist returning and Seagull potentially out of a drive? And Lundgaard maybe even going to the best team in the series, Chip Ganassi Racing. Tell you one thing, 2026 is certainly to be a fascinating season, and 2027 is an even fantastic sort of driving mark, sort of fascinating from the standpoint of that. But it will just be fascinating to see where everyone lands. It would be perfect if Lundgaard went to Penske, but they haven't got an opening yet. If they didn't have the charters, it would be a bit easier potentially. They could open up the 22 car again, but because they haven't got a charter, they have to run that out of their own pocket kind of thing. So yeah, I mean there is still a bit of potential of that because they may get rid of Scotty McLaughlin. I don't think they will though, because Penske at the minute they just need stability more than anything. But yeah, it'll be fascinating to see the situation play out. And yeah, well, Tony Kanan's job is definitely on the line, so you better get it right, Tony, because if not, I don't, mate.